Okay, so let's just dive right in. Something is wrong with the universe. Or, maybe it's just that something is deeply wrong with how we understand it. Because the James Webb Space Telescope, it's looking back to the very dawn of time, and it's sending us back pictures that, well, according to our best science, they just shouldn't exist.
And this isn't just a small little hiccup. This quote from a recent scientific paper puts it pretty bluntly. What we're seeing is in direct odds with everything we thought we knew. This is a real-deal cosmic mystery. And today, we are going to explore a really radical, kind of mind-bending idea that tries to solve it. An idea that connects cosmology, quantum mechanics, and believe it or not, even ancient theology.
So let's start at the scene of the crime, shall we? We're staring at a fundamental crack in our model of creation, a cosmic anomaly that is practically begging for an explanation.
Scientists have a great name for it, the impossibly early galaxy problem. See, the JWST is spotting these absolutely enormous, fully formed galaxies just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. Now, according to our standard model of the universe, that's like finding a 100-foot-tall oak tree just a week after you planted the acorn. It just shouldn't be possible. There wasn't enough time.
Think of it like this. Our theory says galaxies are supposed to form piece by piece. Little bits of matter clump together, then those clumps merge, and on for billions of years. It's like building a giant castle with Legos, one tiny brick at a time. But what JWST is finding are these perfectly completed castles right there in the box at the very beginning of the universe's life. So the big question is, how?
To even begin to find an answer, we've got to make a huge pivot. We have to go from the massive scale of galaxies all the way down to the super weird world of quantum physics. Now, this next idea, it's going to sound like something straight out of science fiction, but I promise you, it's a serious scientific proposal.
Welcome to the many worlds interpretation. The core idea is that every single time a quantum event could go one of several ways, like a particle could spin left or right, the universe doesn't just pick one. Nope, reality itself splits in two. In one universe, the particle spins left. In another, completely separate universe, it spins right. And get this, both are totally real.
So how does this work? Well, it's kind of like a three-step dance. First, you have a quantum event. For a split second, all the possible outcomes exist at the same time in this weird state called superposition. Then, bam, reality decoheres and it splits. It branches off into its own parallel universes, each one playing out a different possibility. And this isn't a one-time thing. It's happening constantly, all the time, creating this insane, ever-growing tree of parallel worlds.
Okay, so you've got the galaxy problem over here, and the many worlds theory over there. Two totally separate ideas, right? Well, maybe not. This is where things get really speculative, and where our story takes a very, very surprising turn.
So what if this constant branching of reality isn't a one-way street? What if the multiverse isn't just about creating new timelines, but also about pruning them? Could entire branches of reality, whole parallel universes, just be removed from existence?
Now, a clue to this wild idea comes from the most unexpected place, a verse from the book of Acts in the New Testament. The key phrase here is blotted out, and in the original Greek, that word doesn't just mean covered up. It means a complete and total wiping away, an erasure, like it never even happened in the first place.
I mean, the parallel here is pretty striking, isn't it? On one side, you have this theological idea of blotting out a past, wiping the slate clean. And on the other, you have this cosmological idea of canceling entire timelines. Could this ancient metaphor for spiritual renewal actually be describing a physical process happening on a cosmic scale? It's a crazy thought.
So let's follow this train of thought. If timelines can be erased, what happens next? What would reality even look like if countless branching paths were suddenly just collapsed into one?
Let's go back to that verse and look at the second half. It says that after the blotting out, there will come times of refreshing, or in some translations, a day of peace. The text itself links the act of erasure to an outcome of peace, of order, of restoration.
So what is the exact opposite of a chaotic, infinitely branching, messy multiverse? Well, it would be a singular, coherent reality. The theory we're exploring suggests this day of peace might be a cosmological event, the moment the multiverse collapses into just one single timeline. But what happens to the history, the stuff from all those erased worlds? Well, the idea is that it doesn't just poof out of existence. It gets consolidated.
The one universe that remains actually inherits all the developmental progress, all the stars that formed, all the matter that clumped, all the galaxies that grew, from all those other timelines that got canceled. And that could be the solution to our mystery. Our universe looks impossibly old because it's the beneficiary of countless other histories that were folded into it.
All right, let's put all the pieces together. What if the universe we're living in right now has a secret history? A history forged from the remnants of a once vast multiverse.
So here's the theory, stated as plainly as possible. Those gigantic, impossibly early galaxies, they're not a paradox at all. They're like cosmic fossils. They are the inherited structures from billions of parallel timelines that were all collapsed and merged into our single reality. See, they didn't have enough time to form in our timeline alone, but they had plenty of time to form across the entire multiverse.
And let's be super clear. While the idea we've explored today is highly speculative, the need for some new idea is very, very real. As this paper points out, the things JWST is finding suggest potential gaps in our understanding and that we might need modifications beyond the conventional model. The scientific community is actively on the hunt for answers. They know something's up.
So we're left with this final, kind of heavy question. Maybe the story of our cosmos isn't just a straight line from the Big Bang to us. Maybe its true history is more like a process of cosmic editing, where countless possibilities were written, and our reality is just the final consolidated draft, the only one that was allowed to remain. Something to think about.